I'd like to call the meeting, the regular meeting of the Waterworks and Lighting Commission to order. Number 2, approval, additions, or corrections to the minutes of the regular commission meeting held on February 10th, 2016.
I make a motion to approve those minutes and put them on file.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, all in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Action items. 2016 water supplies.
As you can see, we sent out for our yearly water supplies for construction season to 3 different vendors. One did not choose to submit a bid or whatever, and First Supply actually did not bid on one of the items, and if you were to add just the same price that the other company did, it would have been high. So I suggest that we go with the low bid from Ferguson for the $183,255 for our summer construction supplies.
Is Ferguson and First Supply in town?
Ferguson, there is a Ferguson store here in town, but it's
Okay.
more like for your
Sure,
bathroom
all
and
right.
stuff like that. Otherwise, the closest store is Appleton.
Okay, and that's who
And
you...
First Supply is out of Plover.
What about HD Waterworks? Are
HD,
they,
they're out of Green Bay.
did they ever give you a bid in the past?
They have in the past, but then at one time they chose to not bid anymore. We sent it to them anyway, even though they don't respond. But they, at one time they told me they weren't gonna, wasn't worth their time, so
Really? Wow.
it's just kind of odd. But
Is there anybody else that she can go to?
these are the bigger ones. That other ones are small. Break off, you're gonna pay more for a smaller company. So
Do you know that for sure? I mean, is it worth to give them a bid?
more, but like Ferguson is, you know, statewide. HD is statewide.
Yeah.
First Supply is statewide. So I don't know. I can look and see if there's more, but I don't.
Yeah. It just always gets me when, we send things, other items out for bid and people tend not to bid them, or they neglect one part of the bid. And so that's my only thought on it.
Yeah. The bad part about like this one part that they did not bid out, even if you would have put that into the equation, it would have been higher than what Ferguson
Sure.
was anyway. So.
Yeah, that's, that makes sense.
I would move that we approve as Dale has recommended.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, department update, safety committee. Any comments, questions? All right, how about we go to line superintendent?
On these traffic lights that folks like to knock over, are there certain locations where it's repeated knockovers, or are these spread all over?
They're spread all over. There's certain ones that get hit more often than not. Definitely.
Is there anything that our friends at the city could do to help us with some of those?
I don't think there's a whole lot. I think the DOT kind of mandates where they go.
The what?
The DOT, I think,
Oh, okay.
mandates where they go.
They are, that is one thing that we do for the city, is maintain the traffic signals, so they're paying the freight on that, I guess. All of the materials and labor that it takes us to repair those, the city pays for.
Anything else? If not, the water department operations report.
I noticed 24 disconnects and 10 reconnects. Does that mean we have 14 condemned?
There were some that, I think a lot of them were shut off for non-payment. So either they moved out or the house is vacant or whatever. Jerry would have a better handle on that, and Joel.
A lot of them typically at that point then are vacant at that point, but we are working with the city to come up with a better process as far as the eviction once the water is shut off to make sure people aren't living there just for an unsafe condition.
It's been on the city's plate for a while. We keep reminding them about it. And there's even an ordinance, we're following the state ordinances basically, and it's clearly in there if a customer doesn't have potable water that it's not suitable to be habitating there, but we still have several houses out there that are being habitated that do not have water service.
So is this Adam would be the,
Adam, right now it's in Adam and Sue Schill's court.
Anything else? Okay, was that the water department operation? Okay.
Yes.
Office managers report?
he's not here to get his compliments.
Kudos, yeah.
Yeah, but he's,
On a 2-week vacation. I think this is his last few days out of the office.
Not too bad.
May not want to come back.
it depends on how good it was. Huh?
Yeah.
So what was the process to getting the credit card payment?
We started taking credit cards online this past fall
With a charge, right? Was it?
with no charge.
Oh, with no charge.
With
okay.
no charge, so there's no charge to the customer to take
Okay.
credit cards online. And then during February, we rolled out the process in the office. So there's 2 credit card machines at the front counter where people can come and swipe their credit cards. We've had a lot of requests for it from our customers and just felt it was the right thing to do at this time.
Okay.
It is limited to residential customers only, so a business can't come in and be paying that on a credit card just for the fee costs.
Yeah, what are to the utility, what are the fee costs? to process that?
Right now, they're about, I believe in February, it was right around $300 for processing the credit cards.
But like is it per transaction?
It's
or-
per transaction,
Oh, okay.
so there's a breakout of certain percentage plus a transaction cost, and most of that is the interchange fees that the credit card companies charge.
Okay. Because the city for property taxes allows you now to pay by credit card, but they have a pretty hefty service fee on there.
That's why we've limited it to residential customers as well. That way the fee's not that big of an expense for the utility then.
Anybody have anything else? If not, Director of Finance?
What's the range? I know based on the rate case or whatever that, you only get those, 5, 7, 10 years. The range of the return, I'm assuming that's going to be on the high side initially and then.
Exactly, it starts at the high side and then you start
Right.
ratcheting down. So our electric's in really good shape this year because the rate case was implemented January of 2015, so it's probably more than likely it's probably the highest it's going to be for the next couple of years.
Right. And what was it the previous year?
The previous year was actually a small loss.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Need to change the date.
Like to live in the past, sorry about that, so.
Jeez, I didn't even
I
notice.
didn't either.
You sure it's not the same in the 40s?
That's what I was
Just
thinking.
copy last year.
This story, they bought that land. It did appear to be updated.
Last year, they would have been a much uglier number.
Yes,
so-
it was, definitely.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have the audit, the final audit in April or so?
They're planning to be here at the May meeting.
The May meeting?
At the May meeting, they'll come and present. We'll probably get final drafts the first couple weeks of April, go through it, and then John Troutman, our partner, will be here in May to present it to the commission.
Good. All right, anything else? Information Systems Administrator?
I see our fearless leader is not here, but I was, in his 2016 projects, he's talking about combining quotes. I was just wondering what he expects there in terms of synergy, or why he was looking at that.
I think he was talking about like switches and computer equipment, which then he can get a better price as a package, just like how when I go out for my transformers and the like.
So a similar vendor,
Yeah, go out to multiple vendors for bids or whatever, and then as a package, get a better rate.
Anybody have anything else? If not, how about the Conservation Manager's report?
Sean, there was in the news about, and I don't know if they voted on it yet or not, but the cut of $7 million to the Focus on Energy program, and it
Funding.
Yeah.
7 million of funding from investor-owned utilities could be whacked here. And the investor-owned utilities have been complaining about this for years because they, both at the retail level, have to add the focus charge on, and then their wholesale power to like munis and co-ops also gets taxed for focus on energy. So, and then the munis and the co-op, well, the co-ops are involved, are then charging their customers as well. So the 7 million will go directly back to the investor-owned utilities, and they will not have to put the focus charge on the wholesale power rates. So essentially, it's a little bit,
shell game, or?
well, bottom line is Focus is going to have $7 million less to work with, correct, but it will maybe mitigate some of our wholesale supplies a little lower because they won't be paying the Focus charge as well. So it's kind of but I don't really see it impacting our customer base as far as getting funds available.
And thanks for explaining who Happy Hippo is.
I figured that question would be raised.
Never heard of that.
Any other questions? If not, Director of Engineering Electrical Operations.
what's the, I see you're talking about eliminating XP and updating. What is the new alternative software?
It's the latest operating system, which is
10?
Windows 10. Because Matt did not want to go to 11. So, and 10 still supported the software, because usually the Rockwell software is one generation behind what's being purchased or sold, at your retail level. So.
At any rate, we should be good for a number of years with that.
Yeah, we have two more computers next year to replace. It's amazing the new size of the computer. The computer that we replaced is like this, and the new one is like this. And it has more memory and it's faster.
Anybody have anything else? If not, the general manager's report?
You playing video games over there?
Would you like to comment on the Verso bankruptcy?
Just that we're trying to secure as much money out of pocket as we were on the deal. We were able to secure a deposit going forward of 1 month, which is better than we're hearing than most vendors are getting, which is like 2 weeks. The administrative priority claim for that 20-day period after the bankruptcy or before the bankruptcy will be filed March 28th, and we have boardmen working on that for us. So hopefully we'll get a portion of that back, but it's hard to say.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? How about review of accounts payable? Any comments on that?
I have one on the financial statements before we get to that. Meter expenses, like a $26,000 swing last year to this year. Any explanation for why that is happening? And there's also a big swing in terms of maintenance of meters.
In 2015, our meter supplier provided us a quite substantial credit for the number of meters that we had fail. So that was offset against the expenses in 2015. In 2016, we're still replacing those meters, which kind of goes between the meter expense and then the maintenance of meters. So there's still those costs there. Matt is still working with Elster to try to come up with a solution that we're still having the issues with. So that number may swing back down in 16 depending on what they do and if they do give us another credit on the amount of problems we've been having.
Because it looks like we're getting hammered with maintenance.
There's still quite a few number of meters that are still failing out in the system from the initial batch that we put in.
Any new meter we get put in, it works fine, so whatever the lot we ordered on 7 years ago was obviously bad, and it's slowed down with Matt now because, not slowed down, I mean, he's been still trying to talk to somebody there, but Honeywell recently purchased Elster, so now there's a new contact and a new organization to deal with, so Matt's working through those hurdles in order to try to get us some disposition for the meter issue.
Just a general comment, Jeff. Would it be possible in the future to, when the reports are generated, to have the page number?
Sure, yeah, they got
Because whenever somebody
taken off
brings
this
up,
time, right.
we got so many, you know,
Yeah.
if somebody asks something, it's hard to,
Apologize for that, they just fell off this month, so I'll make sure
Okay.
they're on there going forward.
thank you.
Sure.
Another one that is the employee pension benefits variance. Is that anything that was unplanned?
I think it was just the amount that went into the HSA accounts that we did in 2015. It was just that variance essentially. It was not unplanned. I mean, I think it was just the flow of the money coming through this year.
Okay.
You have anything else, John?
In the water area, pumping, fuel or power purchase for pumping quite favorable. Is that just the electrical power cost is less?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we pumped quite a bit less in 15 than we did in 14 just because of the colder winter we had. In 14, a lot more water was coming through and a lot more electricity was being used to pump that water.
Okay, yeah, we were also spilling some because of the
That's true, right?
freeze. Okay.
Yep.
What did you say, John? Was it more or less power?
A lot less this year,
Okay.
26,000.
Isn't the biggest cost to pumping, is it electric power?
I don't know if I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is?
It's got to be the electrical
That's the
power.
pumps.
Yeah, I would think.
Besides any other maintenance issues you would normally have, could add up, but.
I know it's down, but would a variable frequency drive on those motors help anything?
Yeah, it might, kind of,
It might, but there's 5 high-pressure pumps, and they vary in horsepower, and so they run the smaller ones when they need less pumpage, but I think if it did anything, it'd be more for the slamming or the hammering of the
Sure.
of the lines, more than the electricity savings.
I'm sorry, I just know enough to be dangerous there. so.
And it's tough to retrofit those on existing
Yeah,
motors
I
and
imagine they're
pumps.
pretty old.
When we have to buy a new pump, we'll definitely see if we can get it on, just buy it with it on there.
Just,
when we typically replace a pump, we find somebody fit right into the most efficient.
Yeah, you probably go with the gold motors or the platinum motors or
We have a
whatever.
couple older motors, but most of them have been replaced, updated within the last
Yeah.
probably 10 years.
Yeah.
So.
All right, can we go to the accounts payable? Any questions there?
Yes, sorry.
I have one, City of Wisconsin Rapids. It's called orthophotography, insurance, fuel, and labor, and it comes out to $308,000.
You've got the water main construction on the top there. It's kind of a long line, so that's the first part of that chunk of the 215,000 for water main. That kind of belongs with that line.
Oh, the water main construction, oh, 215, okay. I see. All right,
Could be mighty expensive photography.
yeah, oh, man. I don't even know what orthophotography is. Dentistry or something?
That's where they take pictures of pesticides.
Yeah, there we go. Any other comments on the accounts payable? All right. If that's it, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in agreement, please say aye. Aye. Thanks, everybody.